Hey, what's up? I got a couple games I wanted to try to do commentary on. I got two 8 kill games in the F-8E, and I just want to go over maybe what I was thinking at the time, and maybe some tips and tricks on how to play this plane. Because I do have a lot of games in it, so I have a lot to say, I think. But yeah, starting off, you're gonna climb a bit. You want to get that altitude. Gives your missiles more range. And in fact, we're gonna launch down on this MiG-21, and missiles definitely has the range. But also, the main thing is very unlikely that MiG-21 actually looks in our direction. So it's going to hit, and I mean, these missiles are pretty good. The AIM-9Ds, they have lots of range, good maneuverability, and they did get a slight nerf. They got their uncaged seeker removed a while back. But I don't think that was that big of a nerf, because all it does is it prevents you from getting those super high aspect shots off. But as long as you're launching at long range, the missile will have plenty of time to turn back in. So I really don't think that was that much of a nerf. But yeah, moving on, we're going to try to get shots on this F-104, but just can't get the nose on. It's kind of hard to do. For some reason, the mouse aim is unresponsive in this plane. But yeah, we're going to follow up, not on the F-104. He's going to be staring right at us. We're engaging him, and he's just going to flare it. So I'm going to go for the A5 instead. And the reason being, A5 wasn't probably as unaware of us. We're above and behind. It's not going to see it coming, and it does actually hit. And moving back into the rest of the kind of the furball, get this MiG-21 on us, launching missiles. I'm going to keep an eye out on him, but while I can, I'm going to try to get a missile off on this SU-25. And because you have such long-range missiles, you want to be able to use that as much as you can, even when you're in fights with other players. You know, whatever you can, just look for targets all the time, and that will really help you carry those 1BX scenarios. And in fact, here we do it again. Launch the SC-25. But here we got 3 people on us. Somehow that missile doesn't hit. But now that we have some room, we're going to try to extend. And the thing is, here we really want that SC-25 to break off, because the MiG-21 is going to catch us, and we're going to have to find him eventually. But if possible, we'll do it alone without the SC-25, because the MiG-21s are pretty dangerous. And here, it's just me being a bit impatient. I'm just going to go for the reversal right away. And the thing about it is you really have to out-air brake them before they realize, because MiG-21s can slow down really quickly. But yeah, we set up a nice shot and actually get him. That doesn't happen every time. I'm going to just say that. But yeah, the thing with MiG-21s is they can slow down a lot quicker than you can, and if you do it more than once, they'll catch on pretty quick, and you won't be able to reverse them anymore. So if you're gonna reverse them, bleed all your speed right away. Otherwise, just don't. But yeah, moving on to this F-104. Try to go for the head-on. F-104s, at least the F-104G, is really annoying because they're a lot faster and they have flares, so you pretty much can't kill them. At the same time, they're gonna struggle to kill you because you're a lot more maneuverable. But just having one of those things flying around already just prevents you from committing to fights, so they are just annoying in general. But yeah, SC-25 coming in. I'm going to dodge the head-on. No real point in taking it. I'm going pretty fast, so I'm in that compression zone, and I'm going to just have a bit of trouble getting out of the guns anyways, so I'm just not going to take it in the first place. But yeah, F-104 launches a missile and disengages. We get on the 6 of both of them, which is good. And there's no real point in chasing the F-104. He's a lot faster, so I'm just going for the SC-25. And while we're at it, I'm just kind of checking around. You don't know what's going to come in. I'm one of the last players alive. I think I might even be the last player alive. So you really have to be careful, because how the spotting works, everyone knows where you are, but you don't know where everyone else is. But it turns out to be okay here, because these were the last 3 players. And we're going to try to get a bit closer to this SC-25 and go for the guns. And this really shows how hard it is to actually aim the guns, because I'm having real trouble here, and I can only really get to the SC-25 when I'm like point blank. But yeah, we managed to get a shot off, hurt him. He's not really going to be much of a threat anymore, but I know for a fact that those things can make it back to base with that kind of damage. So we're just going to keep that in mind and move on. Trying to get some speed back up. F-104 launches another missile, but doesn't really commit, so not really that much of an issue. And for some reason this A5 is just flying around with the smoke on. Not really sure what plan there is, but we'll take it. And right now I'm actually trying to lock the F-104 because I wanted to see if they were carrying chaff, and maybe they'd use the chaff once I lock them, and that would let me know if I should load AIM-9Cs later on, because AIM-9Cs would make me able to kill him pretty easily, but it doesn't end up mattering because he comes back. We're going to finish off the SU-25. I really don't want him to be able to realign, go back to base, and now these are actually the two last players left, and now this is kind of risky. I go straight up because I kind of want to bait the F-104 really hard, but by that I mean I kind of pretend to give him a shot, but then pull out last second, and I'm going to keep doing it until he's so close that he's not going to be able to run away, and then I go for the shot, and I basically ram him. Puts me into a spin, and while I was doing all of this, the A5 was just flying around. He could have killed me easily. I'm not sure why he was just flying around doing nothing, but we'll take it. Gives us enough time to get our speed back up, and we're actually he's gonna present himself pretty much and hand us the 8th kill. But yeah, anyways, more about the plane. I mean, this plane, it has pretty good performance, and that's gonna be the main tool you're gonna be using, especially in these when fighting multiple enemies. You have that acceleration, you have that energy retention, and decent maneuverability, so you can kind of put pressure on multiple opponents at the same time, and while staying alive. Now, the thing you have to be careful of is that low speed maneuverability. You kind of become a brick, and you don't have the best roll authority, especially when you extend the flaps. So just try to avoid those kinds of fights. But other than that, you have tons of ammo, and the missile kit is pretty good, I'd say. Now, one of the weaknesses though is the lack of RWR, and now that we're on a night spotting map, it's going to be really apparent. Because it's hard to spot other players, and you don't get those radar pings telling you if someone's looking at you, it can be kind of challenging to know where everyone's at, and you're going to have to do a bit more looking around to make sure no one's going for you, no missiles launched. But we do spot this plane a bit higher than us, so we're going to try and get behind. That allows us to use the AIM-9Ts, and because of the night spotting conditions, in this case it's going to work in our favor, because it's very unlikely that tornado sees us, so we're going to pick up a pretty easy kill here. But I have to be careful because if I was spotted even for a second, I'd be one of the only players spotted on my whole team, because this is kind of the start of the match, and that would allow the whole enemy team to see me and they might focus me. So you really have to be careful when you kind of stall yourself out like that. We're going to go for another tornado. He actually ended up seeing me. He missed the shot. And now, as long as no one goes for us, we're in a pretty good spot because we're above everyone, and we can start spamming our missiles off. And because we're so far above everyone, it's very unlikely to actually see the missiles coming in. So we're going to spam off with like 3 of them in a couple seconds, and that's pretty much the ideal scenario. Even in an up tier, you can really turn the tide, and we pick up 2 easy kills just like that. But now we're just going to continue on and go to this other little mini fight going on, and it's kind of hard to keep track of everyone because they keep getting spotted and unspotted, and we end up taking a pretty risky hit on with the Jaguar. It was kind of hard to maneuver, I guess, because we were in that compression zone, but we're going to keep this turn up. We can keep that energy pretty well, as you can see, and we're just going to look for opportunities. And there's this Jaguar going kind of slow because he can't keep his energy well. I'm just going to pick him up. He's flying straight, and at this point the only plane left is this Kafir, so we're going to keep the turn up. And I thought I was being able to catch him in maybe a turn or two, but turns out he was rating a bit better than I thought, and had maybe had a bit more energy going into this fight. So we're kind of going to get stuck in here, and this maybe isn't the best idea because I didn't have to do this. There are other teammates in the area, but I was greedy. I wanted to kill, and the funny thing is, I probably would have been able to get it if I broke off and came back in, but instead of F5 picks him up. So we missed out on that one, but it's all good. We're just going to keep assessing the situation because we were just in a fight and kind of focused on that player. So it's going to be hard to keep track of or see where everyone else is, and especially once again with the night spotting conditions, no one else is really spotted but this MiG-21 that we saw just a second ago. So we're just going to chase him for a bit, try to lock him with radar, see how he reacts. Even if I have no radar missiles, I'm still going to try to annoy people by locking them, and it can tell you a lot. It can tell you like where they're heading at least. If you look at the number below the distance, that's your relative speed, so you can tell if they're heading towards you or away. and in this case, MiG-21 seems to be returning to base, and so we're gonna keep chasing him for a bit. But eventually, I decided it's not really worth it. There's still 3 other players, and I have no missiles, and I'm starting to run low on fuel, so I'm just gonna go back and rearm. And now we fast forward about like 5-10 minutes. I rearmed, took back off, chased this bot in the clouds for a while. Turns out to be a bot, kind of annoying, and kind of an issue too because the bot was actually spotting us, both me and my teammate, and really only 2 in our team left, and they still have 4 players, so it's a 2v4, and they know where we're at. So this is kind of sketchy actually, and I'm gonna try to stay close to my teammates, so and we'll be able to help each other out to some extent. But right now I'm just kind of see if I can pick anyone else up on radar, because I have no idea where they are. It's been like 10 minutes since I've even seen one. They've had plenty of time to rearm, so they're probably all over the map now, and it's made it really hard to keep track of them all. And then my teammate gets a blind hunt popped him on, which is an issue for him because he's gonna have a real hard time trying to figure out where the 4 players who have him spotted are coming from. But we're actually gonna use that to our advantage because we know that the enemy players are gonna go for him because he's spotted. We can kind of counter ambush and capitalize on the fact that we know where they're gonna be. So I'm gonna stay close to that, my teammate, and kind of turn back in. But then I actually noticed an afterburner in the clouds, and so I'm gonna kind of try to tell my teammate. But unfortunately, that player also sees me, so you know the jig is up. I'm no longer kind of stealthy, which is unfortunate. I kind of want to sneak my way around the map, but the MiG-21 spots me, and I'm actually not going to fight him yet. I want to run away and extend for now because I really don't know where anyone else is, and it'd be a pretty bad idea to start a fight just like that. Definitely get third party, and so yeah, we're just going to buy some time, see, kind of assess the situation, and then my teammate dies. And now it's even more of an issue because it's a 1v4. I only know where 2 of them are. They have those AIM-9Ls, which are long range and kind of tricky to deal with. So now it's going to be real tough to kind of keep track of everyone. And I hear this sound. I thought it was the corpse initially, but it actually turns out to be the other tornado. And I'm going to turn instantly because I just don't want to mess with AIM-9Ls, you know. So, I mean, I can generally flare them most of the time, you know, drop your afterburner, pop a couple flares. But every once in a while you get this launch that just doesn't care. It just goes right through your plays. So I'm just gonna not let that happen in the first place and turn in. But that kind of forces us to make a few extra turns, and we're gonna end up slowing down quite a bit, which is kind of an issue. It's gonna be harder and harder to dodge. Initially missiles, but then guns. So you really have to be careful. But now we're able to kind of loop downwards, which allows us to pick a little bit of speed back up. And for some reason the MiG-21 is actually kind of slow too, and that would give us the opportunity to extend away for a bit and kind of even some breathing room just to figure out what to do, because I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea what to do here. But since the tornado is kind of really far away, pretty much the only thing I can do here is try to reverse the MiG-21 and get him out of the game, because MiG-21 is definitely the biggest threat here. The tornadoes, they're not too maneuverable, but the MiG-21 kind of shuts you down. So I'm going to go for the quick one-turn reversal. Basically going to put everything into this one shot. If I hit it, I hit it. If I don't, I'm kind of screwed. And so we set up here. I actually hear a missile coming, and I pop flares. I'm able to flare it, luckily. But yeah, basically, I have this one shot right here. I see this other tornado coming in. He's really fast approaching. Luckily we hit the shot. Tornado tries to shoot us but misses somehow. Not sure how. And then he flies right in front of us, so I mean, we're just gonna missile him. And for some reason he goes right through his flares, pick up an easy kill. And now this other tornado is coming in. And you know, I was kind of cocky right here. I was pretty confident, so I go and set up the fancy montage shot. Probably not the best idea because there is still one player left and I have no idea where they are. So yeah, we're just gonna set this shot here, and it's looking good, and we're gonna miss it. Unfortunate, but luckily the last player is spotted and he's pretty far away, so we actually have all the time in the world to finish this tornado off. And at this point, I'm kind of thinking I had this one in the bag, because there's only really a tornado left, and they're not that big of a threat on their own because they're not too maneuverable. And the only real issue is the A9Ls, but in a 1v1, those aren't really that much of a threat as long as you have countermeasures. So we're just going to set up here for the final fight, and I'm actually not going to take the head-on because if I do take the head-on and he just decides to run, I'm just not going to be able to turn around in time to do anything. So we're actually going to bait him onto our 6 and predict where he's going to turn, and that allows us to drop in right behind him and within gun range, which is great because we're actually going to take a shot here, spray a bit, tons of ammo, and we end up hitting him, which is great. We're also going to launch a missile because why not? We have 2 left, and he doesn't drop his afterburners, so it goes right through his flares. And yeah, that'll be 2 hit kill games. Let me know what you thought, and I'll probably make more of these. So yeah.